That was very metal.
Dude, isn't it though? Just kind of like, look, I do these at the end of the night. You know this, man. We'll get into that. But man, the 4 kids are like, they're watching like Cars right now, like the Cable Guy type thing. We've got some old school stuff. The kids are busy. And look, I kind of get sleepy a little bit because I don't get to do these during the day unless I'm like talking to, the UK or what have you. But man, this is about time. I had a really long schedule planned. You and I had some things that got messed up. My fault, between hospital visits or just things like popping up. But man, let me just say, Britton, I'm so happy you're here with me tonight, dude.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me on.
So just full disclosure, everybody, like I had not any plans. I had one thing kind of go south today. And I was like, you know what? Since the schedule's like running out and I really need to talk to my guy, we've been friends for a while, and you've had me on your channel. I was like, I know who I want to talk to tonight. Let's hit him up. And look, in the last minute, my guy. Oh, I'm so happy to have you here, Britton, because look, you've been doing this for a while, and I've been watching you since before I had my own channel. So you're doing something really cool, and I think you do it in your own way. And man, that is I guess what I'm trying to say is that flavor is unique to you, man. So just kind of a props to you, because I love what you're doing, bro. You talk to a lot of different people, and as many people as I talk to, I respect that in somebody because you're diverse.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm always I actually it's funny. I see John in the chat.
We got
his podcast we did together is going to go up in a couple weeks. That'll be a fun one
on your channel, because you're like responsible and like have things backed up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
something I've never been able to do, but I think that you do very well. Damn, it's hot, dude. The summer is so bad to me. So, if you guys didn't know from his name, I'm going to let Britton tell you where he hails from.
Well, I mean, if the name didn't give it away, from Oklahoma. It was actually kind of a funny story. My local library, I go there from time to time, believe it or not. And my email is some Okie dude, right? And they mistook it as some okay dude and literally put okay. And I was
how
like,
dare
right.
they?
And I had to.
They must not watch football.
I guess not, but that's all. I always snicker when I think of that. But
as a football fan, look, anybody that's been in the college NCAA football game, basketball, what have you, NCAA period, you see the word Okie and you know what it is. I knew what it was from the moment I laid eyes on your username.
Yeah, we're yes, we are big Sooners fans in the house.
Hey, I say there's a few different states that I'm just like, man, like I grew up in Ohio, like playing football. It's hot here. We get pretty hot days during like 2-a-days, what have you, during August. But Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona, California, Colorado, you guys over kind of Midwest to Western states, you guys push the limit to what the body can do. As far as, athleticism. So, I knew what it was. So, man, how was your day been? And by the way, Timothy Wolf, what's going on? Happy Friday, my friend. Cheers, brother.
Yeah, indeed. It's good. Well, I didn't do too much today. I did put out my new video though. I was talking about the New York Times. They put out their best books of the 21st century, which
really go into that, dude. I had no idea.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many like literary novels you read, but there was a lot of those. There were some books in there that I like, but I've kind of realized from looking at lists like that people are probably going to be disappointed. So
Like Michael here. I
that list sucks.
have,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, I have to say, I'm not a guy that I watch the news, and I'm not going to say what news channel I watch because, well, it'll play into how you will look at my political stance. It will,
Uh-huh.
and I try to keep that from the channel because
Yeah, I was only looking at their book list.
Yeah, no.
My
I
mouth
think that honestly, when it comes to the New York Times, like I've seen both sides do fairly well as far as a lot of the reporters and
Yeah, I mean,
journalists.
and I had
It's hard to tell with New York Times.
and I mean, I had some recommendations of my own as well because there's some books that I like that I thought are really that weren't talked about.
Yeah,
Though that's always a thing. I didn't want to just put fantasy on there because I think there could be a there could be that would be an interesting list best fantasy novels of the 21st century.
well, look,
But
if you do what the New York Times and what I think you're saying they did, it's like an all-time like general fiction list, or was there
pretty much.
nonfiction? Okay.
Or
So,
there were there was I don't know if you've read Station 11 or
I have
The
not.
Road, but you could I technically consider them speculative fiction, but and there were a couple Never Let Me Go is technically science fiction, but
Harukami Matsuda thing, right? Something like that.
Yeah, it's Ishiguro, I think.
Yes. So I get the names mixed up because they all sound very Chinese or Japanese. Asian.
I know, yeah. I think he's Japanese. Ishiguro is.
Okay, so I just picked this up, man. Oh, it's not here. It's IQ 84.
Oh, that's Murakami, I think. That is Japanese.
And I had
really good. I haven't read him yet.
Yeah, John Morrow was. I had him on the channel a couple times, and he, one of the questions like, "Hey, what's some of your all-time favorites?" And that was one of his. Now I think it's changed. That's not his all-time favorite anymore. But he's like, "Look, I love that book, so I'm excited to kind of dive into it." Throw up some beautiful names here real quick. We got Tim McKay. Happy Friday. Cheers, Mike.
Tim's good people. I like Tim.
Yeah, he is good people. I like that too, man. I don't hear many people say that anymore. He is good people. I love it. Happy Friday. What are you frying? Are you frying something, Ithra? Because I love fried chicken. I like fried liver, fried gizzards. I'm weird. I've tried fried okra, and I'm not a big fan.
I like fried chicken and some other fried stuff. I'm sure I like fried things. Chronically unhealthy.
Hey, it is. Yeah, you keep it sparse a few times a year and do your thing. I go ham on it, a few times a year. I don't do it every week. Now there's these, I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but at the beginning of spring in Ohio and a couple different states as well. Hold on. There it is. We do morel mushrooms. We hunt for them. We look for them. They are very hard to find, but once you kind of get the eye for them and the taste, look, it's hard to find, but once you taste them, you're like, hold on, I need to reconsider. I need to study those pictures. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. You fry some morel mushrooms for the first time and you will be in love.
Those. I haven't really eaten many mushrooms.
They kind of look like Christmas trees almost. Look them up sometime. Morrel or Morel, something like that. But they pop up for very short time around here where I live in the beginning of the Appalachian Mountains.
I don't mean to interrupt your thought.
No, go ahead.
Have you had Adrian Gibson on your channel?
Yeah.
You talked to. He's a big mushroom enthusiast.
Dude, that dude's. I think he is a spore himself. He is going to flourish as an eventual mushroom. He's just at the beginning stages himself. I think he's a human spore. Have you read Mushroom Blues?
No, but he gave me he did give me a digital copy, so I do hope to read it soon.
So
when soon will be, I don't know.
We have these ideas, and I get these ideas from my wife because she's not a huge fantasy fan, and she's like, I don't like knights in armor, and that's like the general consensus when somebody says that I like.
That's
Yeah,
like a stereotype like Disney fantasy. Yeah.
right. Now, don't get me
Nothing
wrong.
nothing wrong with Disney. I love Disney, but it's
I
like
like
kinda
old Disney. I don't like
well,
the
yeah.
new Disney. They're shoving things down people's throats now. But what I'm saying
Well,
is,
I'm
I
more Pixar now than Disney
yeah,
'cause,
my guy.
um, but yeah,
Yeah,
no, like classic like Aladdin Disney is
come
very
on. The first Toy Story, the first come on. Toy Story 1? Oh, that's Lion King,
yeah, that was my yeah, that was a
Snow
childhood
White,
favorite in the Summer's house, Toy
like
Story, and
oh,
Toy Story 2.
yes. I love Snow White because of the dwarfs. Snow
Mm,
White's awesome, but I love the dwarfs because they're just like I've picked this beautiful woman who she does her thing, and they're all, they're named by their traits. And I think that that's very straightforward. I love the dwarfs. I like
yeah,
Snow
I
White.
never actually saw Snow White until I was in high school in a film class.
Cinderella, look.
And
Hey, Cinderella.
I was surprised how good it was. Like, I won't pretend like, I'm sure there's stuff people could nitpick nowadays, but it's really well done, I
It
thought.
is. Beauty and the Beast. Oh,
It's probably my
beautiful.
favorite like 90s Disney film.
The teacups.
I
Oh
love
my
that film.
gosh, dude. They start singing and I'm there for it. I'm there the whole time, dude. I think you know what? I knew me and you would get along on that level.
No,
Um,
like it's kind of hard to pick if Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin is my favorite of that like
oh yes.
that great
An
run they had in the
Arabian Night. That was terrible. But everybody who knows Aladdin knows what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
I was watching Lion King last night actually with my kids, and I asked my wife while when we started, I was like, "Have we sat down with our 4 children and watched Lion King the whole way through yet?" They're not at the age where they're able to sit still for very long. Like, oh, it's so stressful. But when they finally see Scar and like understand what he does to Mustafa, like, oh, that's like the finish line for me when I'm going to start reading The Hobbit. When they understand how bad of a guy, but interesting Scar is.
He has a great he has a great villain song. I also
Oh,
like Can't Wait to Be King as well. So
I can't wait to be king. Yeah, man. 90s. When were you born? I was born in 90.
I was born in 2001, but
Are you shitting me?
my parents raised me very well, I would say, because
Well, yeah.
they let me watch the original Star Wars and a lot of older things, but also I watched a lot of Pixar films growing up, so that's kind of
You're
my
11 years younger than me, dude. Come on. What is this about? I had no idea. I mean, I can see it now that
I know
I
I
know.
love how everyone gets so surprised how young I am. They're
Were
like,
you born before 9/11?
I was born 6 months before 9/11. I was 6 months old when
Okay, so
9/11.
obviously you don't remember that. But man, I was in 5th grade in Miss
Oh, that
Murphy's
must have been
class.
crazy when that
Yeah,
happened.
it was very hard to understand as a 5th
Poor
grader.
little Matt. You probably didn't even understand what was going on.
No, I didn't. No, had no idea. And like as that idea evolved for me, like obviously now I do. But very, very immature at that age. And it was very scary. I had no idea what to think. I knew what my parents were saying, but to me, it was like as a Christian, I was thinking it was like the end of the world. I was truly scared.
Mm.
But man, I love asking those kinds of questions because to know that you were born in 2001 and to relate with you through the year I was born, 1990, and kind of talk about the differences, the similarities, is very cool to me. I
Yeah,
think
it's always
that's
fun
so
hanging
cool.
out. It's always fun hanging out with the '90s kids because
Yeah.
I grew up watching a lot of the stuff that the '90s kids watched.
Well, and yeah, yeah, naturally. And I think you and well, me and mostly the beginning of your life was like, you know, the very beginning of cell phones. I
Yeah,
remember a time with cordless phones and like
that's
before cell
I
phones.
remember. I grew up just as like cell phones were becoming a thing.
Yeah.
And
Did you have a flip?
I did. Yeah, my first phone was like a was like a BlackBerry or something like that.
I had a BlackBerry or 2 or 3. Yeah, man. And I'm not a businessman at 10 or 12,
And
but
my dad's like, "Here you go, son." I'm like, "Thanks."
yeah,
This for
here's
my
a phone
birthday, I think.
because yeah, as a dad, I have to say, man, like even my 5 year, it's crazy. At 5, dude, I remember like running around eating tomatoes out of the garden. My kid can operate a phone. My kid can play Elden Ring and actually like slay. And it's absolutely nuts to me because that is not me.
I could never do those like Soulsborne's games because I just don't
Yeah.
have the patience for them. I was playing. It's funny. I was playing through Red Dead Redemption 2 today, which is
Oh
one of
yeah,
my favorite games.
great narrative.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and what a beard, right?
Yes.
What a beard.
I'm trying. I'm playing as John, so I'm trying to get him in the Red Dead 1 look where he has the long hair. I
Hey,
don't know if it's working, but I'm trying.
look, I never did play the zombies thing because I feel like it would have ruined my idea of. Is his name John? I forget.
Yeah, John Marsden is.
Yes, John Smart. That's it, dude. That it would have just kind of ruined it for me. I think. Now, Call of Duty. Yeah, I'm a zombies guy when that happens. At least
Oh
back in
man,
the day.
I was growing up when like during like the peak
Do
zombie.
you remember World War II Call of Duty?
That was actually my first one, which is
First zombies.
which is really it was kind of a bit irresponsible of my dad because that's like the darkest Call of Duty game up until that point.
It's probably like I am.
I had the Wii version, so they toned like the violence down for like I don't somehow.
I had no idea that
I played
had that.
when I played it on PS3, and like I was like, "Holy crap, this is really dark and violent."
Yeah. Look, and then they released the zombies, man, and then like you start.
Yeah,
out
and that
in the
became a
room.
phenomenon.
Oh, it did. Like with the World War II, that's one of my favorite Call of Duties, and then the Black Ops 1 and 2 is huge. I can't wait for the next one to come out. I'm excited, but I don't know if it'll ever do for me what those first ones, did.
Yeah, it's always that's always the things with franchises. They start out and they have this spark, and then they just lose it over time.
Yeah, I don't know if it's lost any. Like, I wouldn't say there's not.
Though I still like zombies. I played Cold War a few
Cold War, yes.
when that came out. Like, oh god,
I remember my very first PlayStation.
A couple years ago. Zombies in that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun on zombies in that.
I
kind of in the Modern Warfare now, and I'm like, no. Let Modern Warfare be its thing.
Yeah.
And let Black Ops be its thing.
Exactly.
As much as I love zombies.
Yeah, it becomes tedious because you go through levels with the zombies rather than like a narrative. So you always start and end similarly until you kind of like make it to, wherever you want to make. I don't know when the levels cap out, but I didn't get very far because I just love when a game pops up and it's like, you want to play the campaign? I'm like, yes, like no live, no multiplayer.
I like playing the campaigns too. I don't know why. It's just always
well.
I mean, that's kind of the first thing a lot of people play. Well, there's some of the there were the kids in the Modern Warfare 2 era who who like the multiplayer.
Yeah, they kind of like start with that. Me, that's not me. I'm with you.
I started the campaigns first because
let's beat the campaign, and then I'm gonna naturally go into the live or multiplayer with some experience.
It was really tough for me for a few years to figure out if Black Ops or like the original Black Ops or Modern Warfare 2 was my favorite, but it's hard. I like Black Ops more because I like I like the campaign in that one.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 though. Best multiplayer. I have a lot of fond memories of Modern
I don't
Warfare
remember which one it is, but like when you were able to like jump and then hit jump again and have these like boosters and kind of fly.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost a little bit with that one, but hey, we're moving on. Uzman from Bards and Books. What's going on, dude?
Yeah,
my grim dark buddy from another mother.
Yeah, he's I haven't seen his channel in a while. Hope he's been all right.
He's slapping. Yeah, he keeps slapping. And when he drops them in, he's in our Discord. My Discord that you post regularly, and he's posting when he drops stuff. And look, that's like my grimdark brother from another mother.
Yeah, he's I've been on my friend Epic Tales channel, and he often hangs out there when we
Yeah,
have
he's
discussions.
intelligent. You know,
Yeah,
I usually don't ask anybody, and not that like there's, I don't know how to say this, but I love talking to people who have an intellect of some sort, whether it's in math or fantasy books, man. You know, and he's an intellectual dude. You're an intellectual dude. Lots of people that I have on here, I love to talk intellectually with people. Montague, he's knocking 9,000. Hold on, good. I've knocked this week. Okay, I thought the end of that was a day. I was like, hold on. Well, you've been writing since 6 a.m. this morning, EL, or but no, that's incredible. So, you know, one of the cool things, as you well know, about like reviewing books is you get books sent to you from people that you're like, no, I'll pay for it. And they're like, no, I want a review.
yeah,
And
it's funny. I remember I would ask about when I was dipping my toes in the indie, because I've started dipping my toes in the indie fantasy recently,
yeah.
and well, this year anyway.
Mhm.
Not it feels like January was yesterday,
I'm well versed with you, man. I know what you're
but
doing.
but yeah, and there are people like, I'll send you some books, and I'm like, "No, you don't got to do that." It was
Yeah.
kind of awkward at first, but now I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm
I
fine.
think I think one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was at the beginning of me starting my channel, and it was from um hold on, I have to think of his name. I always do this. I always do this. Anybody who watch a he wrote oh, he's right here. Andy Peliquin. He's like, look, or I sent him a message like, look, I feel really bad when I say yes to a physical copy. What are your thoughts as an author? Because you do this all the
Yeah,
time.
like with me, like if I ask somebody for like a free, I gotta have like Joe Byrne. Like I know Joe
Yeah,
pretty well, so I can
dude.
kind of walk up, so I can like hang out with him and be like, "Yo, can I get some free books?" And he
Eh,
hook me up with some. You know.
dude, Joe's one of those guys. I don't know if I would ever feel nervous because I feel like one, he's got the personality to be honest with me. Two, you know that he is a self published author who is so anxious to just share his work with people, like a lot of self published authors are and have to be. That yeah, he's not the guy to feel anxious about. But Andy was like, "Would you read the book? Not are you going to read it as soon as you get it, but would you read the book?" I'm like, "Yeah, I would never say yes to somebody I wouldn't read the book of." He's like, "Then say yes." He's like, "If you would read the book, then you tell them yes, because that is an honor for an author to send you a book that you would read." And I've just kind of stuck with those type of, well, that single piece of information. Andy Peliquin is a gangster. He's been here a while. He's been doing this for a long time. He's, I would say, probably past 2 million words uh, in
I
his.
know Peliquin. The other day I was on Twitter and I was like, I kind of was thinking about writing a uh like a cozy necromancer. That sounded, because somebody like mentioned it, and I thought it would be kind of
Those are
funny.
like two opposing forces.
I
Yeah,
thought that'd
I
be kind of
love that.
funny. I thought that'd be kind of funny to do. And then they're like, "Oh no, Andy Peliquin did it." And I was like, "Dang it!"
Well,
I'm like,
he's
"Well,"
not the
and
only one.
people were encouraging. They were like, "Hey, you can still do it," but
So yeah,
he also
man.
did
One of
it.
the
So maybe you
things
can get
is
inspiration from there.
like after talking to the amount of authors that I talk to, and I've talked to some huge authors, and I've talked to some amazing self-published authors of all levels. It doesn't matter to me, by the way. I'm just saying this for this piece of information. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, take that advice, take those pieces, and when you start your own piece of work, remember there's no original idea. This isn't something I'm just saying. This is something I've checked upon because I'm fairly new to reading. I ask a lot of huge authors and then a lot of self-pub authors who are on their way up. It's like, hey, what's your idea of like that original idea? And they're like, there are none. So you just take your voice and you do what inspires you. Don't think this has been done, I shouldn't do it. Think this has been done, I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought like an interesting, like, just kind of, I was just kind of spitballing ideas just with myself, because I spend a lot of time by myself. But I thought it'd be interesting because when I write things, I like doing. I know this might get some eye rolls from some people, but
That's okay. Do
some,
you, man?
some people. I like to do things different. I like to do what's unexpected when I write. So like, I wanted to like. I was thinking maybe it would be like he's trying to like the necromancer guy is like trying to
Mhm.
start like this.
What's
I don't know what
cooler than a
I don't
dude
know
that
what
can
he'll
like
be doing.
rise again?
But I thought I would do the whole cozy fantasy thing where he like tries to start anew and start like a little, maybe not a coffee shop, but
Like
something
a candy? Like hold
yeah,
on, like a candy store?
something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know,
dude.
candy store or
The
something like that.
necromancy candy seller. Oh,
And
that's
he's
it.
trying to like, and he's trying to show people like, look, we're not all that scary. Like I'm just trying to,
Yeah. I was young and I
candy.
had like a
I don't know.
false sense of manhood and I was like trying to bring people back from the dead. But now I really enjoy sour candy. Come on, that's
Yeah,
attractive. I'm reading that.
I'm more of a fan of. I like Starbursts a lot. I do like
Oh
that.
yeah, dude.
I'm not much of a
Taffy.
candy guy, but I do
Ask
like
my
that.
wife, dude. I spend way too much money on taffy. Way too much. Dude, I filled trash bags up with now and later, like pieces of like scrap paper. And it was really fun, by the way. If anybody's like single and you get a chance to do this, or like you're with somebody and it's kind of new, me and my wife lived in a camper, and not because we had to, but because we chose to. And we had electric, we had water, we had our TV and the game system. Oh my gosh, it was I have dreams about going back to the time when I was living in a camper, and it was just so much fun. I don't know why I brought it up, but look, do what inspires you, man, because people, I've seen people's faces when I say I used to live in a camper, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, I've never had more fun in my life than when I lived in a camper, completed Far Cry 5, and just lived. Like it was so intimate and fun, especially if you have somebody to live with or if you're by yourself. Like that's such a fun thing to do. Go do the camper life for a minute, dude. I didn't do it for very long, but it was so much fun.
Oh, I see Brian's here. I don't know how much you watch John's channel, Talking Stories.
Talking
But he
story.
was
Oh
on
yeah, dude. He just
he
freaking
was,
made me die laughing. Like, dude, coming on
yeah,
with
he showed
the
up with the
Webster's Dictionary.
It was great. I'm like,
Come.
this is great.
So I love it. I hadn't made it all the way down to see that you were here, Brian, but I have to say, man, like, I enjoy your channel already, but then to like tune in to John Minton and his son, that just is so inspiring to me. First of all, Jacob is a very good kid, man. I'm so happy what Jacob's doing for himself. John raised him to have great morals and respect, man. And then,
Yeah, I forgot to
there,
comment on his video, but I'm like, yeah, it's kind of funny. We're kind of doing this whole Jacob's leaving, and then like he's there, like he's back.
yeah. Well, I think that will be a regular thing, but also, man, I can just imagine, like, you can see that Jacob and John are close. They have
Mhm.
a good relationship, and to leave officially, but still come back is kind of a thing. Yeah, he's moving away, but even though he's coming back, it's still, as a father, it's hard, man. So
Mhm.
I empathize with John, and then I'm just naturally in love with Jacob's personalities. So to see Belltube kind of pop in at the end, John had no idea, and all the John-isms that he did was perfect.
Yeah, it was that and the inappropriate time to talk about books guy.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great.
Yes. I'll tell you, as
And he had
somebody,
his kid do it. It's like, yes.
I have to say, Jacob's voice too is really good. So he's a videographer. That's kind of what he does. He went to
Mm.
school for it. I don't know if he's still going to school for it, but what I do know is he has, and I don't know if he's completed that degree or not, but he is so good at it. When you start a talking story video, it's always kind of like a really cute like personal moment between John and Jacob, and it cuts off. It says, "Hey, talking story, we're here," and I'm always just so warmed by that.
Mm-hmm.
I have to put him in. I have to tag him in this video now because I feel like he would want to hear that. I would.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. Yeah, I'm actually hoping because I'm starting to take podcast guests again because I'm not against doing them again. So
No.
hoping to have,
oh my gosh,
hoping
no.
to have hope to have John on again soon. Because
Some of the best conversations
I
are those second ones.
I always enjoy talking with him. Yeah, no, I've talked to Jacob. He actually because I had video on the town hall because I joined his Patreon, which is the first time I've done that in a long time. So I'm like, yeah, all right.
So Ithra, you know that I love everything you post. I swear Jacob is a Bapcat guy. I don't know what a Bapcat guy is. I would love to know.
I have no idea what that is.
But yeah, he is like, man, he is. I don't know the word yet, but man, he's a refreshing dude, and I think he's got a bright future, man. I really do. Having John as a dad and what he's doing, he's just got a really bright future. Because
Danny Wirtz had him like edit something. It was on she's promoting her book, and he edited it together. I forgot whose channel. I think it was on the Brothers Gwynn. Actually.
Oh wow. Oh man, I'd say one of the like lists. There's two people still left because, well, in August or September, I have a few authors coming on that are like on my biggest list ever, and they've said yes, and I can't wait. But John Gwynn is still that guy. Like, I have not yet talked to John Gwynn through an email or Joe Abercrombie.
Oh yeah, I was yeah, a few months ago, because this year's been an interesting one. I put up a post and I was like, here's some like authors I would love to talk to if I ever had the chance, and I wrote it down. And
well, I have to say, man,
I haven't talked to any of them yet because, to be honest, I have no idea how to contact any of these people.
All you got to do is go to their look. So I've
watched your channel. You've had like Adrian Tchaikovsky on. You had the dude who did the
Raymond Feist, bro. Like,
you had RJ Barker on.
Yeah,
I think that's the guy's name. I always get him mixed up with the other.
You want to know what I did?
What'd you do?
All I fucking did was email them, bro. Go to their official author website. Go to their contact information and email them. That's it. That's all I do. There's no secret like message I send them.
I know I talked to this kid from Ireland. This was like a year ago now. I can't believe it's been that long. His name's Daniel, and he's talked to a lot of like comic book writers who I'm a big fan of. Like, he's talked to like Garth Ennis. And
can I inspire you, Britton, to do one
Grant Morrison? I'm like, how'd you do that? And he, like you, he's just like, yeah, just hit him up.
So can I have one author that you would consider reachable for you to speak with? Who's somebody you would like to talk with that isn't like having a Hollywood? Because like Joe Abercrombie, I'm not offended that he hasn't hit me back, because can you imagine his inbox?
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, no.
So give me somebody that you are like, you know what, they're big, but at the same time, I can also realistically feel that he'll see my email.
Like maybe Jeff Vandermeer. Like,
yes,
the first one that pops to my mind.
Okay, so dude, we'll talk about this through my Discord. Go to his official author website and then simply do what you can. That's all you can do is what you can, man. And take that step. Go to the contact me. If you can find there's two different ways. Sometimes the contact me is like, here's my email, or there is a like, here, what's your name? What's your email? Where should I respond to if I like what you're saying? Fill out this little slip kind of thing on the internet. It's one of those two, and do it, man. I'm encouraging you now. I want you to do it because I have 100% confidence they will do it for you.
All right. All right. Yeah.
I'm there for you, man. I 100%, just based on my experience, just put yourself out there and do it, because I know you, man. You're smart. You're intelligent. You're gonna throw some words at them. Say, hey, just be honest. That's all I do. I'm honest. Hey, I
Yeah, I
like
mean
this book.
that's always, there's the old saying, honesty is the best policy, and
It is.
pretty right.
Oh my. Look, one of the worst things I ever did, and I'll tell you who I did it with, and this is kind of like secret information. I have not said this to anybody. One of the interviews I did when I first started was Gaurav Mahanti, who did Son of Darkness.
He did this Sons of Darkness, right?
Yeah, Sons of Darkness.
Yeah. I've seen that in Barnes and Noble, and I'm like, and I looked in the book and Philip Chase's blurb there, and I'm like, I know that man.
Yeah, dude.
I can take what I can get.
When I talked to him, I was inexperienced as an interviewer, and I had not finished his book. It wasn't like a great interview. It was one of the very first ones I ever did. And it's one I wish I could redo, and I hope that I can reach out back to him and kind of redo that thing. But just I learned what I learned through that interaction. And I just gave that to just if you've read somebody's book and it speaks to you, man, like it doesn't matter if they're huge or small, man. If they speak to your soul, that conversation is going to be one to remember.
Oh, for sure. I don't doubt you. I mean,
look at
I know you said you had questions you like to ask. I mean, you can feel free to ask some of them.
Well, you've done the thing that a lot of people do, and you're just like, we go off on these tangents that are so inspiring. But I did have some. We'll get through them. So
I mean, I don't want to rush you. I'm enjoying this conversation
dude,
a lot.
You're not rushing anybody. We'll start here. Let me throw up a few comments real quick, and then we'll get to a couple different questions that I have for you. Richard Kadri. I know the name, but I don't know why I know the name. It sounds familiar.
I also, that name looks, I think he's written some fantasy. I'm not sure what books at the moment. So sorry, Munch Swallow.
Yeah, we'll have to check it out.
Becca Snow, who was very kind and gave so much of her time on my channel as well.
Oh, Ari Snow? Oh, yeah, dude. Come on.
She's beautiful soul.
Yeah, come on.
And we got into it, man.
Oh, hey, I remember the conversation I had with her. I had to cut it short just because I had my kids were being a little nuts. And I was like, look, I'm so sorry. But we had such a wonderful conversation. I can't wait to have her back. What's up, Mike? I just got to meet Mike in person in Columbus. I live in Ohio, so he came.
Yeah. I think I saw you posting about that. I had him on. I had him on my. It's kind of funny now. It's like take a shot every time I said I've had him on my podcast. But
yeah, he's a great dude. He's so good.
He's hilarious.
He is.
He was sharing some stories about being a chemist. Great stuff.
Intellect. He's an intellect. Yeah. You can go on. I go on tangent.
No nonsense about being in indie is great. He's a great guy.
Yeah. So, one of the things I enjoy hearing from people is before you started talking to authors or booktubers, what have you, before you started your channel or, I don't know what you started first. What social did you start first? I've done several things. I have done YouTube. I had a gaming channel a long time ago. Okay, but for books though.
For books. Well, I always liked reading. As a matter of fact, I would get in trouble in school because I would read stuff and write stuff, and teachers didn't like that.
Come on, if I'm a teacher and you're reading instead of kind of paying attention to my lesson, I'm like, look, I love what you're doing, but I have something cool to say.
Nothing. Hey, nothing against those teachers, but
right.
I actually started Goodreads first, like serious book content. And I just started typing reviews on there. Yeah. And there are a couple people who, read them, and I still do that. I don't do them quite as much, or they've always been slow because I try to mull over books before I review them.
Sure.
Rather if I do it on YouTube but YouTube's taking a lot of
takes a lot of your time.
Yeah, and also it's easier to talk about books in that way.
In your way, right? Which is the beautiful part.
Though I do enjoy doing them, but yeah, Goodreads was kind of the first place where I started seriously writing about books. and even
Okay.
comics because I read comics as well.
I
But
know
I've been-
you one of the things you do that I want to dive into a little bit better is comics, man. I know that you love comics, and I haven't found
I've been
that
bad at keeping up
intro
with
to
them
comics
recently,
yet.
but I do enjoy them. I do read them. So yeah.
Yeah, man, I
Um,
love that. Keep talking about it 'cause
but
I love the
then
content.
I had this YouTube channel. I posted some videos in 2019.
Link below, by the way.
They're not on there anymore because I was like, no.
What you're doing is though.
But um I then started using the channel for like podcasting purposes. I had a podcast about movies for a while that I did or haven't been doing it in a while. And then like I had some friends and then I started my podcast I'm doing now, and there were some friends who were like, why don't you just start a Booktube channel? You got opinions and stuff.
Yeah.
Like just do it. And I was like, yeah, whatever, okay. And then
But you're a
like
drummer, so I take you seriously.
yeah, yeah, thanks. And then I always say this, I watched Brian Lee Durfee. God
Oh, yeah.
bless that man.
Oh, yeah, dude.
He
God bless that
uses
man.
his
I'd say it's with
phone.
you.
He uses his phone to just, BS about books for like 10 to 15
What
minutes.
I'm using, homie.
And I'm like, I have no excuse at this point. I have to make a YouTube channel.
Yeah, because he's a gangster. He's
I
a
know.
gangster.
And he just the sheer force of that man's personality is what keeps people coming back. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
have no excuse whatsoever. I mean,
How
I
many
do
have
some
you seen
editing.
where like where he's like he's about to open he's like, hey, I'm Brian Lee Durfee. I've written for Saga Press.
Yeah.
Like, we all know the spiel, and he is consistent. I love it.
Yeah, and I used to do videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I dropped Monday because I was busy with college, and I'm like, I just do not have the energy to make videos on
Good
Monday.
for you.
So
You knew
I
what you
did.
could and couldn't do.
So I drop my podcasts on Mondays now. So now it's just Wednesday and Friday. So and that's much more manageable. I've been doing that ever since. And you're totally right though. It's consistency,
It is. So I have to plug something. It's something I'm very excited about. Consistency is when I first started the channel, I did some recorded videos that I personally truly enjoy doing. I don't have a good space for it though. So I posted on my TikTok that I haven't posted on in quite a while. I'm building, me and my wife, a 12 by 20 building next to our house, and that is going to be the new record space. So I will have like,
oh yeah, I heard you're getting together a new recording space, which
yeah. So I'll have like those top 10 lists, man. I'll be doing like a couple weekly videos that are recorded, as well as these live streams that I love so much. I can't wait.
but yeah, no, it's yeah, this it's kind of funny. This room used to be yellow from when I was a kid, but my parents are like, you want to repaint it? And I'm like, I don't really care. And they're like, all right, we're just gonna repaint it anyway. And I'm like,
hey,
cool.
That's what's up, man.
I should say the walls are supposed to be blue. I know it kind of looks gray, but it's supposed to be blue. But it's fine. I'm fine with it.
So I do love the introduction to you doing this YouTube thing, because I can only speak from my personal experience. When I started the YouTube channel, that's when I was like serious about it. And I would say that because it takes the most time to produce something watchable. We can all post TikToks or Instagram, what have you, pictures and this and that. But when it comes to YouTube, you have to put a little shine. You have to put a little work into what you're producing. I love the story. I love what you did. I love what you've continued to do. So foundational stories are so incredible to me. What are you reading right now?
It's funny you say that. I'm sure your wife will appreciate this a lot, but I'm actually I'm at the tail, not the tail end, but I'm at the latter half of Lonesome Dove right now, which is
every day I hear about Lonesome Dove from you.
I know, and I'm kind of in your, I was kind of in your boot until July, because everyone and their grandma tells you Lonesome Dove. Even authors I like really like this book. Like Joe Abercrombie likes it. Stephen King likes it a lot, and I can see why. It's a fantastic book.
The dialogue, you can just get lost in the dialogue itself. That's it. Like, who cares what they're doing? Just the banter.
I know, yeah, and I was, and I always approach popular books with, I try to keep a healthy amount of skepticism because, what I mean?
That's smart.
But then I read it, and it's just these guys kind of goofing around in their.
But then you're on page 400.
Yeah, and you're like, this is great. Yeah. There's only one moment in this I thought was kind of dumb, and that's it. The rest of it is really good.
So my wife has gone to read Streets of Laredo, and just to let everybody in on it, I was like, look, my wife, we have somebody who has finished the whole saga. My guy Matt, what's going on, dude? I'm so happy to see you here. I haven't seen you in a while. My wife's like, if you've read Lonesome Dove and you don't read Streets of Laredo, however you choose, because you can finish the saga 2 different ways. She read Lonesome Dove and then read Streets of Laredo. She's like, if you've read and loved Lonesome Dove and don't read Streets of Laredo, you are missing out. And that's not something we hear on Booktube.
Yeah, I mean, I think, with Lonesome Dove, I don't know, because, you've kind of... So have you read it, or have you just read parts of it? I
have not finished Lonesome Dove. No, okay. I'm like halfway through it. But let me just tell you, I'm ADD, but I'm loving it. I didn't stop and switch books because I didn't love it. I'm crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm digging it, man. It's I'll put it this way, I can see why people really like it. It's and I have to say, I think Augustus McCrae is probably one of my favorite characters I've read this year. He's great. Also
kind of understanding sex too, because look, as humans, we kind
of there's a lot of sex stuff in this.
There is, and you kind of get a vision of what sex used to mean in these small towns. It was like you're either with your wife or you're paying for it. One of the two.
Yeah,
There's two different spectrums.
Yeah, everyone wants a poke, as they say.
A poke, yes, dude. My wife's like, look, it's not spicy. If he's talking about sex, he's talking about poking something, so it's not too bad. Because she doesn't like spice. Like me and her couldn't watch Game of Thrones because of how much nudity and sex there was. And it was just awkward. So when she dives into a book, if there's too much of that vivid sexual content, not only her, but me, I'm the same way. And it's not like I'm weird or don't enjoy reading somebody loving somebody else. It's just there's a point or a line that you cross. It's just too much for me.
Yeah, and writing sex, I've learned from other writers and friends of mine who are writers, it's very difficult to do without.
I can't imagine.
My friend Jordan at iWizard apparently because he's actually trying to get his fantasy novel and the one he's doing with his wife, him and his wife writing it together. iWizard, his name's Jordan.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. That's awesome, man.
And he was talking about I think the agent told him that that the sex scene in the book was actually good, and he's probably like, my wife wrote it, and I'm like,
yeah, right.
I'm like,
because they're in touch with their feelings.
Maybe I'm like, maybe women are just better at writing sex. I don't know. I have to say to Matt real quick from Go Read Books, my wife almost stopped, and you'll know since you've read this, and I don't know because I have not read Streets of Laredo. She's like, there's a scene with a younger girl that's kind of grim. It's only one chapter, and she told me as she's like, look, I made DNF Streets of Laredo, and she was glad that she didn't because it was one chapter. It was kind of sexual. It was a little inappropriate. It was something traumatic to a younger woman. But she also went on to explain, I'm glad I continued this journey because that's the only chapter that I considered stopping. There wasn't, when it comes to younger women and traumatic sexual experiences, it's hard to read. It is especially if you know somebody who's been through that in real life, man. So I don't know if you had that same moment, Matt. Let me know if you did, man, because I know
Yeah, so there's a couple of those grim chapters. I know the chapter. Yeah.
I haven't read Streets of Laredo because I'm still at Lonesome Dove, but Lonesome Dove is pretty sad too. There is some really heart-wrenching stuff in there.
Well,
that I've read
you
so
get
far.
a lot of history, like
and
also
lot of beginning history. Apparently at the end it's really sad too, but I'm hoping I'm trying to wait to see what happens.
What would you say the page that you're on?
Let me look. It is. I'm on page 723.
You're about there, man. So
yeah, I was about to say I'm at the home stretch. So
you are. You're right
probably
there.
Like 2 good days, I'll probably be done with it.
Just because she was so like vocal about that journey through the first book, Lonesome Dove, I don't remember anything crazy at the end. Although she did say something kind of comes to closure. And you realize something at the end. It wasn't like this huge moment, and you're kind of ready for book 2.
Yeah, no, it's but yeah, there's like really like it's kind of funny because McMurtry, from what I've read about this book, kind of meant this as sort of a deconstruction of the Western. But like the guy can't help but be kind of a romantic though. Like, it's not like super dark, it's not
it's not. Yeah, I remember.
It's not like Unforgiven, where geez.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people, and again, like I said, I'm like 25% done.
But I will say,
I put it down.
I don't want to live in the Wild West. It seems like not a fun place to live.
No, oh no, dude, they suffer
by snakes and die. Like
look,
there's I don't know if anyone is. I won't say, but there is someone who gets snake bit and dies from it, and it's the saddest thing.
And
it's one of the saddest things you will read, and it's really good.
And the food too does not sound fun.
No,
like the cook, we all know the cook.
And Lorena, it's sad to say I've known girls like that. She's not a sporting girl, as they say in this, but I've known ladies who definitely have that kind of, they feel so, they like no self-worth whatsoever because they've been treated so bad in life.
Yes.
I feel so bad for her,
Look,
it's really
sad. Is a moment where our humanity is pulled from us into the pages, bro. That is exactly what he wanted to do with that.
I know. It's really good. I'm like, it's definitely going to be a book of the year. Now, I'm hoping to get to the end. I don't want to spoil too much, or not spoil, but just spoil my thoughts on it. But because I'm going to be on my friend Matt from Matt on Books, his channel, because we're doing a book buddy read on his Discord of Lonesome Dove, because we're all really enjoying it.
You've given very general thoughts. Anybody who reads Lonesome Dove will know this, so you're good, bro.
Well, yeah, no, I think the only like vaguely spoiler thing is that someone dies from a snake bite, but I'm not going to say who it is.
Yeah,
but
so that's
really sad though. Like, it is really sad.
Yeah, man, any book,
it is mean out in the Wild West is all I gotta say.
It's unforgiving, and you're out there by yourself. No matter how many people you're truly with, you're out there by yourself. So one of the books that the only book I've continued to like dive into. What I do, man, is I'm so ADHD with things. Is I'm what they would call a mood reader, but like the like most extreme mood reader. I'll start like 10 books, and then I'm like, okay, this is the one I'll go with after like 6 months.
Dude. So what are you reading, Matt? Oh, I'm guessing that's what you're reading.
That's it, dude. Oh my God. And I haven't, like, I'll spoil it here, but I haven't spoiled it for anybody else because I'm going to do a recorded video for it. But I asked on X the other day, like, hey, when's the last time you guys added a all-time favorite author or book to your top 10? Bro.
Though I will say this, not really like a spoiler, but just like a thought I had. I've read a lot, I like a lot of dark books, man. I know you do as well. And I've read about like the scum of the earth. Like I've read about
Mhm.
like rapists and
Yeah.
and murderers and like people who hurt kids, like really depraved, dark stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think I've hated a character as badly as I've hated Jake Spoon, though.
Okay.
He's just, and it's funny because I've known people like that. It's probably because
Wow.
I have known people like that in my life.
Well,
So,
well, that's another example
which
of
I won't say what happens to him, but I will say I wanted to smack him more than once. 'Cause, oh,
that. But that's what, like, so a million people literally can read, let's say, something huge like The Fourth Wing,
mhm.
and every single person, I honestly feel, will have a tie to that story in a very unique way, not just like vaguely unique, but we're also different and have like different experiences. So man, having that experience that you just talked about is something that you should talk about on your channel, and it's very valid because there's going to be similar
I'm
feelings.
definitely hoping to talk about it when I talk about Lonesome Dove eventually.
Yeah, because
Which,
there's going to be people that felt similar, but not exactly like you. So I have to say, I've seen this book around for a while. Larry Correa,
I've heard
Son of
of
the
him.
Black
I
Sword.
know there was like I won't go into it, but I know he had some like controversy. But I also know that he writes like a lot of like sword and sorcery stuff. From
Yeah,
what I've heard.
I don't know the controversy. All I know is I've read some research on him. I get along with a lot of the things that he talks about. Other than that, like Mike Books Reviews is, and he knows this. Like this is no like secret to him. Anything he really recommends, I'm just kind of like, okay, Empire of Silence, Christopher Rocchio was through him. Lonesome Dove was through him. A lot of other people, but this is the most recent, and I haven't had an experience like I've had with this book, man. Ashok is the main character, and he has this voyage that you start with, right? Okay, it starts pretty intense, which I love books that get kind of like drag me in at the beginning.
Yeah, those are always good.
And then he goes back and he's like, okay, 15 years ago, okay, modern time, and then he'll go back to 15 years ago. And I've read books like that in the past where it's like, man, this is really confusing. No, this has made complete sense, every word. And then he'll go back to 20 years before. I'm about halfway through this book, and I can honestly tell you, unless he completely changes the way he writes the next 4 books, I'm saying that this is like top 10, top 5 potentially on my forever list. Larry Correa, man, he is absolutely a gangster.
Yeah,
Writing sword and sorcery, dark fantasy, not grimdark.
I do like. I've heard him be, or well, I don't know if he's been compared, but I've heard him kind of be said in similar circles as like Robert E. Howard, and I like Robert E. Howard a lot. So.
Oh yes, oh my gosh, yeah. So Robert E. Howard, but different.
Well, I understand that. Yeah.
He's got those influences, just like oh my god, I'm looking at his book. Howard Andrew Jones, who wrote.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
So
a lot of people in indie really like him. I think Andrew's Wizardly Reads really likes him.
John. Right. In fact, the 2 books that I have of his are addressed to John.
Oh,
from him. And he sent him, he's like, look, if you want to try somebody that is sword and sorcery at the very core of their being, which I had never tried before. I've never read Robert E. Howard's Conan. I've never read that. But I need to, because I am absolutely just in love with
well, I mean, if you like that, and I will admit, I haven't read Larry Correa yet, but if you like that, from what you're describing, I think you'll like Conan, at least how Robert E. Howard does it.
And yeah, so I knew that I could look over here. By the way, guys, I see a lot of the comments. I don't know if I hit them all, but I'm trying to. So Mike, love me some Lonesome Dove. It's been 20 years or more, though. I need to dive back into it. My Chinese foreign exchange student loved Lonesome Dove. Word,
I
Mike. Yeah,
mean,
dude. Mike's a
I'm liking it.
gangster.
It's inching close, maybe, to being a 5-star. I've only had one 5-star read this year that has really like gone the extra mile to like for that
So,
5-star. The only one that has gotten that is Kindred, at least for me, because I read Kindred.
ooh, yeah.
Which, talk about a book that takes you from the beginning. That's one that comes to mind for me, because you're like,
I'm gonna ask you about that later because
all right.
I need that. Matt from Go Reads Books. Streets of Blair was so bleak. I enjoyed Dead Man's Walk and Comanche Moon more than Streets of Laredo. I will tell my wife tonight when I go to bed, because that's what I do. Talk to people and then I go tell her about it. So I will absolutely, bro. Dude, she is itching for this information, Matt. Because she wants to go back, but I've not convinced her yet. She's a what's her name? Frida McFadden fan who's huge on New York Times bestseller list for like murder mystery thriller, kind of psychological thriller. She just knocked her book. Her book was just knocked to number 2 by her new book. So she's like number 1 and number 2 as an indie author on the New York's best times list.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Ridiculous good. But she's running out of books. So she's like, I need to get back into Larry McMurtry. So I will be telling her this. Matt, thank you, bro. Kale, I have not seen you yet on my live streams, and I'm so excited. And let me just tell you, bro, I am digging the mustache, homie. Look at the stash, dude. That's game. RH, hi, Go. Oh, okay, yeah, dude. Go subscribe to Go Read Books if you haven't. And, of course, my guy, Britton, some Okie dude. He's not just some Okie dude. He's the Okie dude.
Yeah.
There are a couple grim chapters. Yeah, man, that's what I hear. And again, I have not made it as far as my wife. Dude, you need to read how. I have not read Robert E. Howard, and I hear so much wonderful. I've heard of Conan, of course. I've seen the Schwarzenegger movie. I've seen the newest one, but I have not read his books.
I would say, and for anyone who is interested in reading Conan, I would recommend reading the Del Rey edition here. There's 3 of them. These are Howard's stories. They are as they were written by him. There's no one interfering with them, because for a long time there were other writers like L. Sprague de Camp who kind of interfered with his stories and would edit them. But nope, these are the unedited stories as Howard wrote them.
It's kind of like the
I've only read the first one of these, but really good, and you'll really see where a lot of like fantasy tropes come from nowadays.
What I hear is he kind of brings a lot of what I respect in fantasy, and it's not that I respect that in the life I live today, but I respect to read it, and that's kind of like the female body. He kind of brings I don't know how to explain it. He kind of at least from what I've understood his books bring, it's like, I love these certain traits about the female body, and he puts those into his books. Now, again, I have not read anything by him, but I have heard this.
Yeah. And the movie from the 80s is pretty good. I like it a lot. There's a lot of really fun stuff.
Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it is not a tumor.
It's Arnie as Conan is a lot of fun. A lot of
He's
really
ripped,
great,
dude.
over the top, delivery, and James Earl Jones as the villain is great.
James Earl Jones a
is
gangster.
freaking great. it's
Whether you're reading the Bible with him or you're watching Lion King, it don't matter. He is like, I am the voice that prospers. He is the voice that is above all others.
Yeah, no, that's the sad thing about the Del Rey. If they had just gotten like some Frazetta artwork of Conan and just slapped it on the cover, it would be perfect.
As much as I don't know about anything that you're saying right now, I need to look more into Frazetta. I don't know what that is.
Frank Frazetta, he was an illustrator.
Okay.
He drew Conan and is considered the
The pecs, the biceps, triceps.
Yeah, the definitive Conan.
The manly features.
The manly features, yeah. Yeah, if there's one thing I'd say about Robert E. Howard, he has very manly fictions.
He is. That's
Though
what I hear.
there are women fans too, like Rebecca really likes Robert.
Yeah,
E. Howard.
R.H. Snow loves Conan. Yeah,
she
she
loves
is like,
Dana.
look, I love what he does for women and men. She's not on one side or the other. She loves both. I know this.
Yeah.
Mike, I've been thinking about diving into Conan. Mike, by the way, man, hold on. Let me throw this up. Hold up. I got to grab something for Mike. Look, just a little info. Mike just did a convention in Columbus, Ohio, the capital of Ohio. And he's like, hey, I'll be there. So I went up. This is his new, space opera, which is a new love of mine. Let me throw it up. Oh, you got a kitty.
I do have a cat, yes. I also have a dog. I hope you can't hear her having her little,
You'll see my kitchen chairs, but that's okay.
Yeah, I remember Mike telling me when I had him on the pod talking about his space opera.
Yeah, dude. I was itching for Mike to write, because look, I've read book 1 of his fantasy series. I haven't read the rest, the other 2, but one of my most newest loves is space. Cannot wait to dive into this. I can't wait to find somebody to kind of do a buddy read. I have one for September, so maybe
yes.
October.
Tim McKay mentioned that it actually launched today. So
yeah, it did.
Heard you met Christopher Buehlman. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude.
I've read a
here
couple
it is.
of his books.
I also met John Scalzi. These two.
Oh yeah, I've read Scalzi's blog. He's an interesting guy. I haven't read any of his actual books yet.
Man, I'll tell you what, they were both gentlemen. When I walked into the library in Columbus, I seen Buehlman, and I was totally creeping on him. I was like, hold on. I told my wife, I think I know who that is. I'm going to follow him. And then I stopped following because I knew that creepy that looked. And then I looked on the schedule and I seen where he was going to be. I was like, bro, Chris, man, it is so cool to finally meet you, get your autograph. I bought his book, hardcover of A Daughter's War. I was like, but I was totally creeping on you before I just walked up to you. I was like, I seen you when I first walked in. And he's like, man, it's okay. You don't know for sure when you see somebody. I was like, hold on. I think that I'm walking away from you. My wife's walking away. She's like, I'm not even related to you right now. If you walk up to him and ask him who he is. But he was sitting down. I was like, hold on, bro, do you have books here to sell? Because I want your autograph. And he was so nice. So was John Scalzi, man. He had a mile-long line to sign, dude. And he was he took all his time to hang out with every single person. So what's coming up for you, man? What's going down on the channel? What's coming up for you?
I have a discussion about let me pull it out actually, because I'm going to be talking about Annihilation. Or I already recorded the conversation with my friend Jason, because we're both admirers of that book.
I just got it in the mail the other day.
Oh yeah, that's the copy I have. It's I'll admit, because Absolution is coming out this year. I'm a little disappointed.
Prequel, right?
Yeah, it's a prequel. I think it is anyway. But yeah, it's a prequel, I think. But
kind of weird, but I'm loving the weird.
Yeah, no, it's great. But we're gonna be talking about that, and then I got tagged again because it was last week. I did 2 tags because I'm like, screw it, I don't have a lot of ideas right now. My friend Amanda kindly tagged me in another thing, so I'm gonna do that. Probably gonna do more podcasting and stuff. So isn't
that fun?
It is.
You love this. It's just absolutely the most genuine thing ever, right?
Yeah, I mean it's always fun doing them because I enjoy I enjoy talking to people.
Yeah, I can tell you have a lot of the same skill set that I do, and I don't even consider it a skill set. It's something that came to me as a young man that I can walk into any room at any time with anybody and relate to them because we're all human. You do
I
well
mean,
at that as well.
yeah, no, I mean, I thought you were talking about like what I'm hoping to read next.
I was, but then I kind of switched it up to some
Oh,
personal stuff.
well,
You do a lot of that well, man. You talk to people that are different from you, who are the same as you, and I can relate with that because we're all human. That's all.
yeah. One book I'm hoping to read very soon because
Hmm.
August is coming up. I'm gonna
Sure,
have to put you down, kitty cat.
Yeah.
Moonwitch Spider King, which is the
dude.
follow
I
up
just heard you
to
talking about that somewhere.
Black Leopard Red Wolf, which is phenomenal and
That was it.
underappreciated fantasy novel. Or at least in my opinion. I understand how it could turn people off, but I love it. I think it's great. But
That's all you got to say. I'm picking it up.
but Moonwitch Spider King is the sequel. It follows the Moon Witch, who is in the previous book, and she was kind of not really an antagonist, kind of, but we're gonna see her perspective, really. So yeah,
Look at that, dude. We've got the
thank
official
you.
Snow Medal
Thank
of Honor there.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I'm also there's a bunch of other
Naturally,
you know how many books I'm hoping to get to by the end of the year. I'm already thinking about 2025.
Okay, yeah.
Like there's people who are like, oh my gosh, Britton, which might be like a gag once I put up a video about it. But people are always telling me to go read Malazan. I'm like, screw it. I'll do it next year to calm down the Malazan fans.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
Go away. I'll read it next year.
Yeah. So Gardens of the Moon's probably one of my next 3 or 4 books. I've started it before. I was a little intimidated. But I do love R. Scott Baker, The Darkness That Comes Before.
Yeah, that's another one people tell me to go read.
Oh yeah, if you like philosophy, man, there it is.
I do like that. Yeah, it's I actually there's a I'm hoping. Hold on, let me get this.
Hold on, Slay. Who's your favorite author? R. Scott Baker.
I'm also hoping to read. Now, I should note this is not the whole book before you guys start panicking. I'm hoping to read Gormenghast, hopefully in September, which is a kind of weird,
pretty big
fantasy. This is a omnibus with 3 books. So
okay,
what I'm going to be reading is that. So
what's the author?
Mervyn Peake.
I've never heard of that, bro.
No, yeah, it's very like it's a cult. It's very much like a cult.
Well, that's very much Baker, man. He's an indie author who's
there's
really...
also some indie books I'd like to get to. I'm really thinking about getting to the Wickwire Watch. I'm reading Philip Chase's Edan trilogy right now.
Too.
I actually just finished the 2nd book.
No way, dude. What do you think so far? Is it great?
It's very good.
Okay.
I like the first book a lot more than the second one, but I really I'm actually hoping to have Philip on. I actually hope to have Philip on again soon to talk about the 2nd book, and then the 3rd book I'm hoping to read sometime. Going for September, we'll see what happens because my reading this year has been kind of slow. Also read a chonker that was Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, which took 4 months to read. Did
you like it?
I did.
Okay.
I liked it a lot.
Look, the 2nd book,
I did read Piranesi last year.
Yes, dude,
I remember you read
novel,
and I thought that was kind of funny because the character, one of the names is your name. I thought that was kind of
yes,
funny.
Dude. I'll tell you what, for something that's like fresh, man, I absolutely loved it. Baker.
Go ahead. There's some other books. Phased by Tori Tekken. I got it back there, which I'm hoping to get to in October because what I like to do in October is I like to do a bunch of horror reads.
Ooh, yeah, naturally.
So yeah, naturally because it's Halloween. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be one of my. It's gonna be one of my. I know it's technically not horror from what I've heard about reviews, but it's got werewolves.
There's werewolves, right?
There's werewolves in it.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
You can't go wrong. Supernatural horror and fantasy is like it's just kind of goes hand in hand.
Also, was just talking about this with John, Talking Story, a few hours ago. Deathless, actually, I'm hoping to read in December because it's a winter book. I got it back there. I don't know if I want to pull it out. Hyperion, I would like to read.
I'm reading that now.
Hopefully in
quite intellectual.
Next month.
You have to look up words. Read it on the Kindle because you'll have at least I had to look up some words.
Yeah. What else? Also, this kind of popped up on a whim, but this is kind of one I've been meaning to get to for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Is The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien, which is not fantastical by any means. It's a
Things They Carry.
It's a war. It's about the Vietnam War. So might read that for November for Veterans Day. So
hey, that's my birthday, man. November 14th.
A lot of other books. Let me look on my Twitter because I was just talking about this.
Look it up, bro. I cannot wait to get to some more Baker. I cannot wait to get to what is it? The last. So I've read everything Holly's been in except Holly from Stephen King.
Oh, I haven't read the Holly books yet.
Yeah, man. What was it? Hold on. He did a trilogy with a detective, and I've read those. And she's like the unexpected gangster of the story. So I need to read Holly, and then I think I'm gonna pick up his most recent release, like They Like It Darker, I Like It Darker, something like that. Kind of like
it's kind of funny. I went on like a Stephen King bender like 5 years ago.
Can't go wrong.
Because I was like, Stephen King, all right, yeah, let's do that. And I was watching a lot, or I was reading a lot of Stephen King. As a matter of fact, one of my picks in my video I did about the New York Times video, 11/22/63.
I have not read that.
His best book of the 21st century. Really is might be a little spicy for some people. No,
Slay, you're a gangster, bro.
A lot of people are very kind to that book, which makes me happy because I think it's a great book.
I have not heard a single person tell me not to read 11, whatever the hell it is. The JFK date.
One of his best.
Yeah. So I have to shout out, man. Slay, bro. Man, I cannot wait to just kind of like see you more and more on my lives because, dude, this is what I love to do, and I've loved having you here. So huge thank you because I'm humbled. I don't get a lot of these, and I want to say I'm humbled, bro.
Okay.
Love the things they carry. Yeah, well, you got to eat. Oh my gosh, man, the people who go out of their way to show love like that. Come on.
There's probably other books I can't.
Of course there is.
Them all. But
of course
there's also comics as well. I'm really hoping to get to one called 100 Bullets, which is a crime comic.
That sounds really cool.
I love the concept of it. I want to get to it. I haven't really been feeling the itch to read a lot of comics recently.
That is something I hope to do more of in 2025. I have a lot of like planned things for 2024. And again, anybody who is here for the first time, I started reading in 2019. I was really sick at that time and I needed an adventure and I couldn't do it physically. I picked up books and I'm here forever now. So, just cannot wait. So also, look, Slay, dude. Slay's like 100 Bullets is
Slay's based.
Dude, I had like to say. Slay, bro. I'm so glad you're here, man.
I do like Brian Azzarello a lot. His Joker comic he did with Lee
Ooh.
Bermejo is fun.
My wife needs that because she cannot wait for anything Joker out.
Another one I'm hoping to read is Astro City, which is a superhero comic by Kurt Busiek. I've only read Marvels from him, which I really enjoy a lot.
See, I don't know any. Like, I have no
Well,
idea.
yeah, I know. I mean, if anyone reads comics, I know. I know.
Most of my
Art
fans
Snow
do.
does, but it's also I'm hoping to read. Transmet is great. I love Transmetropolitan. I actually have a conversation about it on my channel if you want to go watch that.
Check it, yo.
So,
You see, guys, you guys see the ticker down at the bottom.
What else am I? I'm actually hoping to read finish one of my favorite comics, Deadly Class.
I want to get in.
I think you would like Deadly Class because that is. I love it. I love it.
What about Sin City though?
Sin City's good. There's more. There's some arcs I like more than others.
Does it read like the movie? Noir.
Oh, it is the movie. Like
okay.
Movie, like if you've seen the movie, the
Love
comic
it.
is
Come
very
on. Come
very.
on.
No, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm just saying
I'm excited.
Yes, like just said, it is the movie for sure. Like legit,
like,
they
up,
took
dude?
shots from the it's
I'm gonna probably
The Hard Goodbye is probably my favorite of them because I like Marv a lot. So
dude, come on. If you
it's a simple story of a guy who just he's taking some revenge and he's gonna do it painfully, and I'm like, I like that.
Yeah. It's such a scene by scene.
So if you like the movie, you'll love the comic. So that's all I got.
I'm obsessed with it.
But
I'm a couple that I'm thinking of doing before 2025. I'm going to finish Grace of Kings by my guy here that I hopefully.
That's one people tell me to go read a lot, and I'm like,
it's good so far, man.
Like when I'm told about popular things, I'm like, look, I have a bunch of other things I want to read. Like, I'll get to it when I get to it. All right.
Yeah. It's one of those for sure. So, doing a reread of Bloodsworn Trilogy. I cannot wait for the third book to come out. Halfway through this, Hunger of the Gods, man. John Gwynn, if anybody doesn't know this, is
like John Gwynn, I think
my favorite.
I mean,
author.
if you like John Gwynn, you'll like. I mean, I haven't. Why am I saying it? I haven't even read John Gwynn, but from what I've heard about John Gwynn, if you like John Gwynn, you'll like Robert E. Howard.
Hey, and then Clayton Snyder, who is just dark fantasy through and through, all the way. I just got this in the mail yesterday. Blackthorn. I'll read the blurb, which is what got me, by Michael R. Fletcher. Come on, a manic blend of insectile, cyberpunk, necromancy, and vicious humor. Blackthorn crushes. So that's on the list. And then I'm going to finish an artist who does amazing work with the female body of the actual female body, not bimbo.
So like a tattoo artist?
No. He does. Well, here, let me just tell you. So Daniel Maidman is his name.
I've never even heard of this guy.
He wrote a fantasy book, The Exile of Zanzibar, which John Morrow himself gave 5 stars, I have to say. He is also a realistic representation of the female body through his first piece of work as far as literature. Well, not literature, but he did an art book. And the cover is a realistic female body that he drew, he painted. I think it's I don't know exactly how he does his art, but I'm in for it. I love the representation of the actual female body.
Oh, I was gonna ask because you were talking about comics a little bit. Like, what are some comics you would like to read, or are there any comics you would
Yeah,
you're like
yeah.
you're
So
eyeing and you're like, I want a piece of that,
yeah. So we've talked about one, Sin City,
Hmm.
which is a graphic novel, right?
Same thing.
Okay, yeah, okay. Also, I love Superman. So
Mhm.
anything Superman or Batman, like Dark Batman, like the Dark Knight, I loved. Um, and God, I cannot think of it. Oh my gosh, dude, it's I don't know if he's Asian, but he's got the hardcover books. It's super dark, super dark. Um, I can't think of the name of it, dude. All I know is like the first page is something bewildering. Uh, but I've seen it at Walmart. I've seen it on. There's lots of volumes, but they're hardcover. God, I gotta think of it. Hellblazer, dude. Yes. It.
That's one I need to get to myself because I'm a big Garth Ennis fan and I haven't read his Hellblazer. That's apparently some of his best stuff.
I can't think of the
Um,
name, dude.
All Star
Ah,
Superman is great. If you love if you love the original Superman movie and just Superman
yes.
being like the nicest guy on the planet, like just go read that comic. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
so
excited.
and
He's
Punisher
an
Mask
Asian
is
dude.
excellent.
Punisher's great. So Punisher. Hold on. I have to think of before we get off here. I have to think of the name. It's a black cover. The hardcover is the special editions. It's black.
Are you talking about like Berserk?
Berserk. Berserk.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's it.
That's a good one.
Because from what I understand,
I
he's
don't read
just
a
like
lot of
dark
manga,
for
but
the
I've read
sake of
that
it.
one, and it's really, I liked it a lot, though it is dark.
That's what I hear, and I love a dark story. Look,
Oh,
I
I
don't
do
like.
too, but there
I
are
don't.
like I have limits, my friend. They are not like everyone else's, but I
I
do
heard
have.
he's limitless.
I mean, good luck. I mean, I know a lot of people say the Eclipse arc is the real traumatizing stuff, which I mean, if you've read Berserk, you know what I'm talking about. But the Lost Children arc,
Let's get it.
just
Let's
get
get
to
it.
that, and I won't say anything else.
So that's something I'm gonna check out. But yeah, man, I've kind of gone through what I'm excited for. I'm going to continue, probably shortly after the first book. Larry Correa, man, he's doing it for me right now, and it's so good. It's just so good. So I have to say, man, I'm gonna go give the kids a kiss. If they're still awake, I'm gonna go read some books. And I always like to. I usually say this after the interview when we're kind of like not live. But man, if it's gone after like 50 minutes, like it was a natural conversation with people of like-minded loves. So man, just this was amazing. I cannot wait to have you
I'm
back, bro.
I'm glad we got together. I
It
really am.
finally, and I'm so glad we did too as well. What I'm going to do is say we're going to continue this conversation very soon. We'll get to the DMs and kind of check it out and schedule
Yeah, I
something
mean,
very
I
very
was about
soon.
to say I am getting hungry I'm hoping to make dinner before long. So
Yeah, he's an hour before me, so I'm going to go and read with the wifey. Let her know some of the comments that I got about Lonesome Dove trilogy or the saga, some other comics and stuff like that. I want to give a huge thanks to you, Britton, man, along with the wonderful live comments that you guys have been just throwing. I love it, man. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. For those who catch it on the replay, thank you so much as well. Comment below, like, look, if you think I need to read a certain comic, if you think Britton needs to read a certain comic book, me, it doesn't matter. Just throw it below.
or
Uh,
regular books too.
yeah, anything.
these
It
are
doesn't
these are
matter.
book channel. Yeah, we are book channels.
Exactly. We're always looking for the next thing. So inspire us and give us the next read that we just feel like we have to get to. So again, live chat, thank you so much. Britton, thank you so much. For those who watch it on replay, y'all are awesome. And we will see you very, very soon. Y'all have a wonderful morning, evening, night, whatever it is for you, and we'll see you very, very soon.